Welcome. I'm Dan Lawson, also known as EZ. This set of videos that are coming up are dedicated to two of my grandsons, Weston and Tanner, who wanted to learn a little bit about archery. Initially, I thought, well, I can just show them how to hold and shoot a bow. But most of the videos up here, if you've noticed, are also dedicated to instructing in some of the older ways. So let's do a little bit of instruction video in this case. Bows vary. You can go everything from a fiberglass recurve. You notice it's got this, which means this is a right-handed bow. This is a youth recurve, and because of the way the ledge is, it can be left or right-handed. This is one of my personal bows. It's called a long bow. It doesn't have the recurve tips. Where I'm right-handed, I've added an arrow rest on the side of my bow. And as the bows evolved over the years, they went all the way to the point where they've got a compound. This compound bow is also designed primarily for a right-handed shooter because of the way the arrow rest is. The important thing to remember about the bow itself is merely to hold the string so that you can shoot an arrow. When I get into arrows, you've got fancy, nice broadhead arrows made for taking big game. You've got what are called judo points, which are knockout points. This particular arrow, you notice, also has super big feathers. It's called a flu-flu. That means it's not going to fly quite as far when I'm shooting it up in the air at a squirrel or a bird. Arrows are made out of, in some cases, wood. This one is particularly made out of a piece of river cane. This one's also a river cane with a little larger feather and a judo point. Most of the areas you're going to be dealing with for now are going to have small target tips and be small arrows out of wood. For the beginning archer that's making his own rig, simple dowel rods can be used, or fairly straight sticks of wood out of the woods. For this series of videos, I went and actually harvested some sticks of wood. Our bows initially are going to be made out of sticks of wood. In this case, you're going to need a stick of wood, some string, and now, watch closely. I'm going to take and make a knot up here. I'm going to wrap it twice, tighten the knot so it doesn't come undone. And I'll go more into the knots and stuff we're going to use later. Once that's all done, and I have my knot on that end, I'm going to bend the bow and tie a different kind of knot up here that as it gets tighter, keeps the string from slipping down. So, now in this case, once we're all done, we're going to be working on how to pull the bow, how to hold the bow for accuracy. Meet Socks. She's my guard dog. Weston and Tanner, you know Socks. All right. Now, when you're holding the bow, you'll see a lot of people that when they do it, they hold the bow and bend their wrist back like that, so they're pulling back against it. If you hold your bow that way, your string is going to hit your wrist and hurt. Keep your wrist straight. You want your bow to rest like that, so that your wrist is well back away from the string. Now, as we go through this, you're also going to need, I'm demonstrating this left-handed, and in the left-handed case, the arrow will be, I'll have to think about that, wait a minute. Yeah, it'll be resting on my hand here. When I fasten it to the string, it'll be resting like this. Okay? Now, so for left-handed shooters, the arrow is going to rest on the side towards your knuckles. For right-handed shooters, the arrow is going to rest on the side towards your knuckles. Once again, keep your wrists straight. Now, you're going to need to develop some calluses and some muscles. One muscle you're going to need to develop is what they call a deltoid. It goes from your shoulder to your neck here. And when you're pulling your bow back, that is a muscle that takes the strength. And that's the one you got to work with. So while you're beginning, two things. On your fingertips, when you get ready to pull the bow, I'm going to want you to be able to lay your string on the fleshy part here, not down in here, fleshy part here. So what you're going to be doing, you're going to be holding your bow. Remember the wrist position, because you don't want to spur your wrist. You're going to take the fleshy part of your fingers, and as you pull back, you want to run that string just a little, twist it just a little bit toward you like this. This keeps the arrow against the bow. And I want you to start doing exercises to get the fingers stronger and that deltoid muscle build up. Just pull, release, pull, hold, release. Pull, hold, release. Pull, hold, release. The purpose of this now, remember, is to get your fingers built up with calluses so you can shoot it well and to build that muscle in your shoulder up. The next section of video, we'll be working on how to convert a stick into a bow. And I'll be going through that with you one step at a time. And if you have questions, there is an email address on my website you can contact me through. So, from this point on, Weston Tanner, even though this is dedicated to you, I'm going to read referring to everyone as students. So Weston Tanner, you are now students. Anybody else watching the video, you are also students. I'll get back with you on the next section of the video shortly. Looks like the power is dead in my remote. I'll have to turn it off up here.